When we pray, we might be asking for things or looking for God's blessings in any number of ways, but do we ever pray that we can overcome temptation? Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Friday. I suppose the average prayer is sort of a wish list, something like the list we would make out for Santa Claus, hoping we'll at least receive some of the things that are on it. But when Jesus was speaking to his disciples in Matthew chapter 26, he was not concerned with the things that they would be wanting and asking for in prayer. What must have filled Jesus' thoughts at that moment in the garden was the very soon coming arrest that he would face from the Roman soldiers, or the beating, or the crucifixion that he would have to experience. So he calls on his disciples in Matthew 26:41 and says, "Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Jesus had left his disciples behind to watch for him, and knowing the soldiers would be coming at any moment. His command for his followers was, "Watch and pray." Now, that sounds like a wonderful plan for us today, doesn't it? Knowing that Satan is walking about, seeking whom he may devour, we need to be watchful. And the plan given by Jesus is that we watch while we are praying. We might see Satan sneaking up on us, but that doesn't mean we can fend him off with our own might or our own cunning devices to overcome temptation. That's where the call to prayer is so important in this plan for Christian victory. Watch and pray, lest you enter not into temptation. Prayer must be the main force. These disciples will be tempted to run away from the soldiers in their fear. One main follower of Christ will be tempted to deny even being a follower of his. Now, when Jesus was teaching about prayer in his Sermon on the Mount, he said, "Be sure to pray, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil," or from the evil one. One of the main lines or subjects for the model prayer was to overcome temptation. Each of us will assuredly face some temptation today, as we do on a daily basis. And we would like to think we can face it with strength and determination and will. That doesn't always happen. Notice Jesus' words were, "The spirit indeed is willing," meaning we would all like to overcome temptation. We would love to live victorious Christian lives. But what does he say next? Well, the problem is the flesh is weak. We are so weak when we seek to overcome Satan and live a life of victory in the flesh. We're no good on our own. No. The first must be wary of the devices of Satan. That's what Paul says. We are not ignorant of his devices. We know that he has planned attacks on us every day. Then we must very often and without intermission spend that time in prayer for God to give us the victory over temptation.